disclosures have released some lists. It's important to note that 3 of the dioceses have not released any lists: San Francisco, Fresno, and Sacramento. The lists that have been released, we believe, are deficient, but there's something, the lists that have yet to be released are being required by this lawsuit, hopefully, through the efforts of Tom Emmons. And with that introduction in mind, I'd like you to step forward, Tom, and tell us first your name and then why it is you brought this civil conspiracy suit, this nuisance suit, and what it is you wanted, and then how it feels to know that at least the court has allowed you to move forward with some of these claims.
My name is Tom Emmons, originally from Anaheim, California. I'm a victim survivor. At the age of 10 years old, I was assaulted by a family priest who was a friend in our neighborhood. And I've been dealing with this my entire life. And you asked me why I filed this suit. And I thought back to last year on October 2nd when we filed the case or filed the suit. And at that time, I was standing in a similar situation. And I was saying to the people who would listen that it's not just about me. It's about all the other victims out there. It's about the children out there that are at risk. And I had this opportunity to come again today after this ruling. And I think it's, again, another moment in time. It's another powerful moment in time. And what I really want to say at this point is that if you're a victim survivor out there, this is a huge day, for all of us. Because we're, if you look at these words, you read these words here, what the judge said in the ruling, it rings true. This is a very long, difficult battle. It's a very long, difficult road that we're on. And but it's a moral battle. It's a just battle. And I will stand here with these people, these victims, these survivors, these advocates, and I'll do everything I can to hold the church accountable. And it's not just the church. I mean, we're talking other organizations potentially, but this moment in time, I think is going to be very, very important. And I'm just honored to be here. And to all the victims, survivors out there who are listening, today is a little victory. We have to be cautiously optimistic, but today is a victory. Thank you.
What it is your courage, Tom Emmons, and bringing this suit that gives us this opportunity to continue to try to uncover the long-held and concealed perils that exist in all the Catholic dioceses across the state. And so when you say those words, those are the words that we took from the judge's order, rejecting some of the arguments made by the Catholic bishops' lawyers, correct?
Correct. And it, again, it's, read those words and it's pretty clear. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about the public. It's about the safety of our children. It's the most important thing.
And it's about lies that have been told and secrets that have been kept and continue to be kept by the Catholic bishops in California. Mike Rex, step forward as one of the lead lawyers in this effort and give us your take.
Sure. My name is Mike Reck. I'm an attorney with Jeff Anderson and Associates. I'm one of the attorneys that Tom Emmons allowed to file this case on his behalf, seeking some accountability and some justice on behalf of not only survivors of childhood sexual abuse, but those who remain in danger. Matters concerning priests abusing children and the church's handling of the victims and abusers are matters of public interest. Those are not my words. I believe those words. Those are the words of the Los Angeles Superior Court. And truer words have never been said. When we filed this case on behalf of Mr. Emmons, we named 11 dioceses in the state of California. 11 bishops are in charge of those dioceses. They also conduct a conference, the California Conference of Catholic Bishops. This entity was sued as well. Each of those entities hired their own lawyers and fought against the filing of this suit. They all filed papers and they made arguments trying to say that Mr. Emmons should go away, that the public has no right to this. The reality is that these 11 defendants were ordered to answer, and I think it merits identifying them. The Roman Catholic Archbishop of Los Angeles argued against disclosure of this information. The California Catholic Conference argued against disclosure of this information. Bless you. The Roman Catholic Bishop of San Diego, the Roman Catholic Bishop of Fresno, the Roman Catholic Bishop of Oakland, the Roman Catholic Bishop of San Bernardino, the Roman Catholic Bishop of Santa Rosa, the Roman Catholic Archbishop of San Francisco, the Roman Catholic Bishop of San Jose, the Roman Catholic Bishop of Monterey, the Roman Catholic Bishop of Orange, and the Roman Catholic Bishop of Sacramento. All argued that this case should go away, that it should not be allowed to proceed to see its day in front of a judge and in front of a jury. Well, what did these defendants argue? Their attorneys said that the public does not have a right to know about child sexual abuse and priests. The attorneys argued that law enforcement does not have a right to know about child sex abusers in the Catholic Church. And these defendants argued that lies and affirmative misrepresentations told by church officials could not be investigated by survivors who bring lawsuits like this. These are true arguments that they actually argued in court in 2019, in present day. And the court issued a landmark ruling last week. And we pulled some language from this ruling. This is a direct quote. And the court ruled that there is no right to free speech if you're concealing sexual assault from authorities. 2, protecting abusers from criminal prosecution is not protected. And 3, making affirmative misrepresentations is not free speech. In fact, it's false speech. False speech is a lie. Church officials have lied for years, and we know they cannot be trusted to self-police themselves and to self-regulate. This ruling is a landmark that paves the way for more accountability, for more justice, and for safer kids. One of the other attorneys who worked on this case is Jennifer Stein. She's responsible for some of the research and for the draftsmanship and for some of the filings, along with the rest of our team. Jennifer, you were present in court when this was argued. Why is this important? And why are these arguments, these false arguments, noteworthy?
This case has been brought on behalf of one plaintiff, Tom Emmons, against some of the largest and most powerful institutions in the state of California. This ruling is a testament to the perseverance and determination of survivors of abuse, not only that of Tom Emmons, but that of other survivors across the state and across the country. This is a monumental step forward for Tom and for all of the survivors in California in their journey to recover power and to seek accountability from the same entities that caused them harm when they were children.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jeff?
I'd like to point out that we have a map here of the Catholic diocese, and of the 12 Catholic dioceses here pictured, you'll see that when we add up the numbers of those that have been put on the list, the offenders that have been put on credibly accused lists, the number exceeds 600. The number exceeds 600 across the state of disclosures made by the Catholic bishops of priests credibly accused. And 3 of those dioceses have made no disclosures: San Francisco, Sacramento, and Fresno. So this lawsuit asks the questions and begs the question, and now we're allowed to do discovery of how many offenders there really are out there that are yet to be disclosed and held secret and being protected by the Catholic bishops. And it's notable that just this week, another name was released publicly in Baltimore of an offender who's been deemed to be credibly accused, Carl Fisher, who is and was a bishop of Los Angeles. And it was just this week that that name was released in Baltimore because he'd worked there, and has never been identified by the Catholic Archbishop in Los Angeles or the Catholic bishops in California, who knew he had been accused of multiple allegations of sexual abuse of minors. That underscores not only the importance of this ruling, but the real peril that exists. That's Carl Fisher, a Catholic bishop in Los Angeles, formerly in Los Angeles, one of now 4 who have been accused publicly of sexual abuse of minors in Los Angeles alone. B. Mendoza, please come forward and give us a brief description of what we need to know here.
Estamos aquí no porque queremos decirles de otra demanda. Estamos aquí porque es un momento histórico. ¿Por qué es histórico? Porque cuando metimos la demanda de Tom Emmons, el sobreviviente, los abogados de las diócesis y arquidiócesis dicen que la acción legal de alteración de orden público que sometimos por Tom Emmons, dijeron que esa es no es libertad de expresión. Entonces, de eso no se trata de proteger a las víctimas y proteger a los niños, y por eso estamos aquí, para que se den cuenta de que eso es lo que están diciendo los abogados. También estamos aquí para decirles que hay 3 diócesis que no han dado lista hasta ahorita, y esas 3 diócesis son de Fresno, son de San Francisco y Sacramento. Esto nos quiere decir que ellos siguen escondiendo estos nombres de los perpetradores, siguen dando peligro al público porque los niños aún siguen en peligro. Entonces, por eso estamos aquí, también porque nos dimos cuenta apenas de que hay un obispo que ha sido nombrado y acusado públicamente, ¿ok? Porque hay unos que nosotros nunca vamos a saber porque ya les dieron un pago privado. Pero este es un obispo del cual nos dimos cuenta, Carl Fisher, públicamente, que ha sido acusado. Y él es un obispo de Los Ángeles. Y nos damos cuenta también de que en total hay 4 obispos en Los Ángeles que han sido acusados. Y ese número es alarmante y es más grande que en cualquier otro arquidiócesis. Muchas gracias. Beatriz Mendoza.
Manny Vega, Secretary. State your name.
My name is Manuel Vega.
Manny Vega, you're a survivor of sexual abuse by a cleric, and you stood up and found your voice and took legal action back as a result in 2002, I think it was, Manny. Yes. And you worked really hard and toiled, and to this day, to get full a more full and complete disclosure of the real peril exists. Tell us why you brought that then and worked so hard since, and what this ruling to you as a survivor means to you.
Absolutely. So, like Jeff said, I've been doing this publicly since 2002. I've been standing up against the church. I've been standing for victims who have been suffering in silence, trying to bring attention to what happened to me and to what happened to the other victims. Unfortunately, there are some victims who are no longer here and are not going to be, I guess, privy to what's taking place here. This is a historical moment. This is going to make a difference. In my case, Father Fidencio Silva abused me as a boy for 5 years. He was at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church in Oxnard, California, part of the Los Angeles Archdiocese. And I know that during his tenure there, he was moved to Selma, California, which is part of Fresno. But Fresno hasn't disclosed anything at all. I know there's victims out there. Father Fidencio, who preyed upon me and my other friends, 29 of us that came forward as altar boys. I know that he preyed on other boys out in Selma. This is a historic moment. This is going to get information out there. It's been proven that the Catholic Church, not only in the United States, but throughout the world, cannot police themselves. They don't have the ability to tell the truth. They constantly lie, deceive, they hide things, and all we're doing is asking for transparency. That's why Tom is here. That's why I'm here. That's why I've been in this for so long. I want the truth. The truth has to be told.
Mike, step up.
Thank you.
Mike. So the bottom line is the judge has allowed the door to open now. We have a lot of excavation, a lot of work to do. What lies ahead here? What is the strategy, Mike Reck, that we are using on behalf of Tom Emmons and other survivors to excavate and disclose the peril that exists, past and present?
Thank you, Jeff. The reality is that this lawsuit is now in uncharted legal waters. The court has ordered those defendants whose names and identities I listed earlier to respond to this complaint, to answer this complaint in the Superior Court. That will happen in the coming months, and the litigation will go forth with rigor and vigor, and it will seek to uncover what was known, when it was known, and how children can be made safer today. The allegations in Mr. Emmons' lawsuit are that there is a nuisance, a dangerous condition existing within this Archdiocese of Los Angeles, within the Archdiocese of San Francisco, and all the dioceses in between. That information will be sought, will be analyzed, and will be used to not only heal the past, but to protect the future.
So it's a serious excavation. Questions?
First of all, is this subject to appeal in any way, shape, or form?
We're working on that analysis right now. The court, when issuing the ruling, dismissed portions of the case and allowed portions of the case to proceed. Because it was split like that, it's complicated, and the true answer is we're looking at it right now, and we don't know if it can be appealed today. Certainly, it could be appealed at some point, but I don't know that it can happen today.
When are you, in theory, anticipating Mr. Emmons' case to actually come to trial?
That's a good question. It's proceeding in Superior Court, State Court here in Los Angeles. It has to go through discovery. There are many hurdles ahead for the legal team for Mr. Emmons. I can't put it, there's no trial date been set at this point. All we can say is the wheels of justice will turn. Sometimes they turn slow, but we're trying to push them.
Now, Mr. Emmons was subject to abuse on behalf or with a priest from what diocese? Was it Los Angeles?
Yes, and more. So Mr. Emmons' case is particularly indicative of what happened, not just here in Los Angeles, not just here in Orange, but the coordination and the conspiracy. The abuser in Mr. Emmons' case was originally from Illinois. He came to California and originally worked inside what was at the time the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. In the late 70s, the Archdiocese of Los Angeles split off the Diocese of Orange, where that perpetrator remained working in the Diocese of Orange. So you have a conspiracy and use of the geographic solution, church term, for the movement of perpetrators from one location to another.
And to the question, can it be appealed? One of the dioceses at least announced that they intended to appeal. The Archdiocese, we don't know if they can. And the question is when does it go to trial? We don't know. But what we do know is that we now have a path through this case to do discovery, to excavate this information that is being hidden as we speak. And that is what is significant about this that hasn't been able to be done before because of statute limitations and other things. And so it is that excavation and that uncovering of cover up that becomes so important in real time now. And for trial, another day. For today, discovery may be allowed to begin. And in that, we hope to uncover these perils, these secrets, these names, and hopefully allowed to reveal them.
Is there a specific relationship between the picture behind that lady and today's press conference? Like, is there somebody there that we should be?
Yeah, this is Archbishop Gomez. This picture depicts Archbishop Gomez meeting with other top Vatican officials in response to the crisis with the Holy Father. It is Archbishop Gomez that has also kept secret the identity of a former bishop in Los Angeles, Carl Fisher, that just came onto the public radar this last week, that underscores not just Archbishop Gomez's, but all the bishops' decisions to hide and to conceal and keep secret. And Carl Fisher, former bishop in Los Angeles, now named and identified as a credibly accused offender in Baltimore, is very noteworthy of the peril. Thus, this picture is just a demonstration of the top officials with the Holy See making decisions that effectively continue the practices of the past without little or real change to protect the kids, and at the same time come fully clean and transparent. And it is being fully clean and transparent because when they release a list or partial list or make a decision not to release the list, it becomes a half lie or a half truth, which then becomes a whole lie.
Mr. Reck, when you're talking about the idea of discovery here, and you're mentioning all of the archdioceses of the diocese of California and the California Catholic Conference, Mr. Evans basically is talking about LA and Orange. So one can understand the discovery applying there. But why the other diocese? And if you look at it from that perspective, could this discovery be farmed out to others who would request information for possible lawsuits against those individual dioceses, in the state of California? Is that perhaps the point here? Rather than having 13 or 14 different discovery motions, it's done in one shot, and then plaintiffs can come forward and police can come forward to look at a database. Maybe I'm simplifying this a little too much, but is that in theory what you're looking at doing by this order and by what the court is allowing you to do?
Sure. What we're looking for in this order and in this lawsuit is to seek information from these men. These are the bishops of 11 of the dioceses in California. We believe that each of these men and their dioceses utilize a conspiracy of silence and secrecy to allow abusers like Father Mohan, who abused Tom, and those 11 dioceses, through a coordinated effort, created the California Catholic Bishops Conference, where they coordinate and where they communicate and make decisions together and move the offenders. Do we think that information should be public? Heck yes, it should be. Do we think that survivors all throughout California should know about that? Heck yes, they should. This lawsuit doesn't get to go that far yet. What this lawsuit says is, let's analyze what the bishops knew, when they knew it, and how we can stop that danger today and heal what has happened before.
Does this have any potential ramifications for criminal prosecution down the line?
We hope so.
Part of the purpose of excavation of this information is to get it so it can be turned over to law enforcement, and law enforcement can investigate these perils. And every time we excavate this information through discovery in a lawsuit like this, it gets turned over to law enforcement and aids them in the prosecution. And as a result, offenders are taken off the street and imprisoned. That's what happened in 2002. And over 200 offenders in California were ultimately prosecuted through the excavation of this information. It is our hope that it will lead to a path to uncover more information about these dangerous practices across the state. Tom Evans, step forward so we can say thank you to you for having the courage to give us this chance to do this work. A lot begins, and this is just the beginning, but thank you so much for giving all survivors and the communities a chance to have more known about these dangerous practices. Questions will be taken later. Thank you.
We've got handouts of the order and of the lawsuit itself on the counter back there if you want it, and we'll be around for a little while.